Hi, this is Diane Peters from jcharvestinvestments.com. How are you doing today? It's a rainy Friday here in the Northeast. We're here out and about, just getting ready to do our podcast, and I'm noticing that I just came from the gym, so I'm a little exhausted, but I always feel good when I leave that gym. I always feel like everything in my body is really working. So I really like it a lot. And it's the thing that invigorates me. It makes my brain, seem like it's breathing and it's working better. But I don't know, that's my hobby. That's my go-to. I love doing that stuff. But today I wanted to talk about being a parent. I'll tell you, I always wanted to be a parent. Ever since I was a little girl, I loved taking care of babies. A funny story. When I was about 10 or 12, I had my baby dolls, of course, and I played with all that. I had a make-believe kitchen set up. I had a laundry laundry area, and I had back in those days you had a clothesline. You had a wash machine and a clothesline. I had my own little basket. My mom and dad and my grandmother just did a lot of stuff because my older sister Anita was more of the tomboy, and I was the next girl in line that acted like a little girl. So I got all this stuff, and my playmate, believe it or not, was not my sister. It was my oldest brother Ricky, but that's a whole nother story. I have to tell you about how he was as a playmate. But what I did is, I told you before, I used to have this little playmate called Kobe, and he would follow me wherever he went. But what I did is I would always have my baby dolls and really think that they were real dolls. So I always wanted to have a baby. And so at about 10 years old, and we were in this neighborhood, it was a very close-knit neighborhood, and one day I was outside washing the dishes, and I think it was 10 or 12, I can't remember. And all of a sudden I looked outside, because I had been praying to God for a baby, and I saw this little baby out on the front of our yard, and he had his diapers on, and it was summer, and his diaper on. Blonde hair, blue eyes, the cutest little baby boy you ever want to see. I was so excited. I said to God, thank you. I went out and I got him, brought him in the house, brought him up to my room. Mind you, nobody saw me, okay? So I went up to my room, and I was just, believe me, it was the evening by the time my mother investigated and found out that I had a baby up there. And this poor woman who had left her baby in the front yard, she was moving in, the baby crawled away, she'd been looking for him. I want to say it had to have been maybe 12, I don't know, some point in there. But bottom line, by the time she realized where it was and who had the baby, it was the evening. So this poor woman was going through all this. Meanwhile, I'm thinking God gave me this baby. So needless to say, I ended up being his babysitter until his parents moved out of the neighborhood. I think he might have been 7 or 8 years old when they moved. Johnny, hi Johnny. But that's how much I wanted to be a parent. So I became a parent at a very young age, and I had my first son, Marvin. Hey Marv. And I was so excited. I thought this guy was I knew he was a gift from heaven. And he was the best baby. I mean, the first night his father and I, what we did is we didn't understand that we were supposed to feed him whenever he got hungry. So we had a little list of when the times we were supposed to feed him. So actually we waited until that time to feed this poor little guy. Meanwhile, he's laying between the both of us with a pacifier in his mouth, looking at both of us. And he's probably saying, what the heck did I get into? But I love my Marvin. He and I have a very close emotional. We are in tune emotionally. Marvin and I are exactly alike. He looked like his father's side of the family, but he definitely has his mother's spirit. But anyway, parenting has been my best job. And then came a Jerome. Now Jerome was, let me tell you the kind of baby Jerome was. When he was first born, he came flying out the womb. And not only that, when the nurses went to, they usually wait a little bit, want to clean the babies up before they can eat, feed them. Mind you, this is my second child. When they brought in Jerome was just born, and you know how they wrap babies really tightly in the blankets? Jerome had unraveled all those blankets, was kicking and screaming, and the nurse brought it. This is an experienced nurse. Brought him into me and said, "Can you help me with this baby?" Right then, I knew what I was going to deal with Jerome. And then came, after so many years, I was 39. I had a dream about this little chubby-faced, pork chop leg, chubby arm baby girl. I didn't know how and where I was going to meet this baby girl, but I did have this dream about this baby girl. 6 months later, I meet my Naisha. What a gift. And I can't tell you how great it has been. With Naisha, my daughter, whom I thought was going to follow totally into my princess realm, and it just tells you how history is. She is just as much a tomboy as her aunt Anita. She really has the personality of her aunts, like Charlene. She likes to be liked. She likes to be friendly. So she and I are like very opposite, but we get along so well, especially when I realized I had to accept her as she was. And the same thing goes for my sons. The thing about parenting is you can't live through your kids. I don't believe I ever did. I have to be honest with you. And my sons, they were all football players. Thank God they got scholarships for college and played through college. But I have to say, if I lived through anybody vicariously, it was them, because they were in that realm. By the time my daughter came along, I was a little bit more relaxed about allowing her to be who she was. I can't tell you, I was a helicopter mom. So I did constantly keep a track of her, maybe too much. But I did really follow after her and baby her a lot more than I did my sons. Because I can tell you right now, when she was 14 years old and I was talking to her brother, Jerome, and I said to Jerome, he said, I told him how exhausted I was, this, that, whatever. So he says, what's Naisha doing? And I said, oh, she's up in the room. He says, well, why didn't she help you with the chores? I was like, yeah, you're right. I never thought of that. He said, you kidding? You had us ironing, and you had us sewing, and you had us washing. At 9 and 10, you introduced us to the washer and dryer because you were traveling so much you couldn't help us. He says, she's 14. What are her chores? Light bulb moment. I said, she doesn't have any. Well, that was the funniest thing, because she didn't understand it. She thought we were trying to, I don't know, get slave labor. I don't even know. But I can tell you one thing. Don't introduce the chores at 14 years old. It was a tough fight. But she got it. She understood it. So the only thing I'm trying to say about parenting is it's the best. If I can call it a job, I can't even begin to call it that. If I think about what's given me the most joy, it's my children, who they are. And mind you, there's a gap between Naisha. Naisha was, I think Marvin was in college when we got Naisha as a gift. And I can't even explain to you, at every level I've enjoyed my experiences with my children. And they've all been different. And the one thing I've known through maturing is I've been able to understand that they are a gift from God. I've given them back to God. And right now I'm enjoying every season in their lives. My Marvin is going to turn 50. Okay, I just said it, Marv. My Jerome is going to turn 48. And my Naisha is going to be 29. The one thing I can tell you right now, if I had to do over again, I'd want each one of them to start at the very beginning. And I am very happy and very proud of my children. But I thank God so much for giving them to me. But now, Lord, they're yours. And I pray for them every day. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast today. I hope you're having a great day. Have a good weekend. God bless you. This is Diane Peters from jcharvestinvestments.com. Have a great one.